Hello, early learners, and welcome back to the art room. We are on our third day of the portrait study. Now, we know that portraits are pictures of a subject, but it can also be a photograph, a painting, or a sculpture. I brought a portrait of my family when we were just kids. I have 3 brothers and I am the second child in the family born. So I was 10, I think, in this picture, and my parents took us to the studio where there was a photographer and they took our portrait, and it's been hanging in my mom's bedroom over her dresser ever since. Then she let me have it because one time I went to camp, and while at camp, I was there so long, I began to forget what my family looked like. Has that ever happened to you? You've forgotten what something looks like? And I got a little afraid, and I was 13 years old. How could I forget what my family looked like? But I went to the counselor, and she saw me being sad, and she said, well, do you have a picture anywhere? A portrait of your family that you can think of what they look like? I said, yes, over my mother's dresser. There's a portrait of my brothers, all 3 of them and me. And she said, close your eyes and think of that portrait. She said, I said, I begin to see. And I remembered what my family looked like. A funny story, but it tells how important a portrait is. Because when people aren't living with you any longer, I know some people go off to college and their family says, oh, where's that portrait of Claudia? She's off at college. Let's put her in the living room. Or sometimes we had a portrait that we brought for someone who didn't get to come for Thanksgiving. And so we put that in their chair so that you could remember that we wish they were there. So a portrait will tell you a story. And we've been portrait detectives during the week and trying to see what someone might be feeling like. Well, we have a picture today that we're going to be looking at in a minute, but let's start off with our hello song. And it's, hello, nice to see you, everyone. Hello, nice to see you, everyone. Hello to you, hello to you, hello to you, hello to me. Hello, nice to see you, everyone. Now, the art that we looked at yesterday and the art we'll look at today and tomorrow are all done by Pablo Picasso. And during the time he was an artist, he was a Spanish artist, and he is famous for his black and white shirt. He kind of had a bald head, but he often wore a beret, and that's why I'm wearing that today. And we learned yesterday about Cubism, that it's really a fractured or broken up picture and put back together in a strange way. And that's why I brought Humpty Dumpty to remind us. When we talk about Cubism, it's kind of fun to bring my Humpty Dumpty, because we know Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall, and when he fell and broke himself apart, they said all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. So I say, well, somebody put him together, but put an eye down here and a nose up here and his ear over there and his mouth in another place. And it's a funny way to reference what Humpty Dumpty tells us about Cubism. Yesterday and the day before, we also talked about 5 words that began with the same letter. And I'm using Miss Laura's letters from Handwriting Without Tears, and we always tell children, start at the smiley face, because we always start our letters at the top. Yes, we always start our letters at the top. Is this the top, top, top? No, that's the bottom, bottom, bottom. We always start our letters at the top. So I have 2 lines today. I have my big line, top down. I also have my little curve. So we do 1 stroke down, frog jump up, little curve around. And the letters is letter P, and it says P, P, P. We don't say P, 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 because that is spelled P-U, P-U, P-U. P is P and a U together. So we say P, P, P. You can put your hand in front of your mouth and say it. P, 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 P. Here's a P, 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 P. 5 P words. Let's look at them and remember what they stand for. A portrait is the picture of a certain subject, animal or person, and it is a portrait. Picture, we know it's also another word for portrait, but a picture can be of anything. A person is one, people are two or more. The profile is when your face is facing sideways, and it goes forehead, nose, lip, 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 chin, and into the neck. And pose is strike a pose. If I wanted to pose that I was waving to you, that's my pose. If I wanted to give you a pose that you've done a great job, pose. And someone might take that picture. We'll remember that. Now, we want to start with the song, Hello Everybody. And each day I'm trying to bring a different instrument. This one, oh, let me put it with the white paper in front of it. This one is from Peru. And it is an egg shape, and it's filled with little stones, and it's been carved. And it's a beautiful piece of art all on its own, but it's also an instrument. So when we sing the song, Hello Everybody, yes siree, yes siree, yes siree, let's make portraits, yes siree. Then we say, yes siree, my darling. All right, ready? If you want to pat your legs to do your song, you can do that. If you remembered and brought 2 sticks to tap together, you can do your rhythm sticks. If you brought, 2, you can even use metal spoons. Ting, ting, ting. But remember, ask permission first. But let's start out. It goes, hello, everybody. Yes, siree. Yes, siree. Yes, siree. Let's make portraits. Yes, siree. Yes, siree, my darling. All right, so let me set this over here and talk about Picasso's picture from today. It is called Girl Before a Mirror. Now you might see this picture and it has more to it than what is up on here. I only brought a part of it because I wanted you to see the part up here on the face. Because when we talk about the portrait, her portrait is a profile, remember, standing sideways, but it also is facing forward. So it can start out as an oval, but then you cut it off and put the profile in and finish it up. But look what she's seeing. This is supposed to be the mirror. She is in the mirror. Is it exactly what you see? No, and that's what a mirror does in real life, not in art world. In real life, the mirror reflects back what is shown. It doesn't show something different like Pablo Picasso painted, but he likes to make his artwork interesting and colorful and not like something else. So when he did this picture of the girl looking in the mirror, he used her regular face here, but then a colorful face here. And again, with the big hands that is like scissors over there. And when we're detectives and we're looking at the face, we look at the subject and think, is it an oval shape or is it a round shaped face? Is it an angle? No, this one, with our clues, we see it as an oval. We look at the eyes. This eye is looking forward. This eye is looking sideways. What about the special features? No glasses, no braces, but her colorful face is a different color. This side, her lips have no lipstick. On this side, her lips have red. This face has a little bit of cheek color. This has a lot of cheek color. This side has a yellow ponytail, blonde, and this side, her hair must all be pulled to the side. This one, it looks like she has hair on both sides. So this mirror isn't reflecting back exactly. But looking at this picture, if we were a detective and saying, how did the girl look in the mirror? Did she look happy? Did she look sad? Did she have a face that looked like the mouth of the Mona Lisa? the Mona Lisa. We're going to look at the Mona Lisa right now and see what her face looks like and sing the song to remember that she's the most famous portrait of all. So here is Mona Lisa, and her mouth is a lot like the picture of the girl looking in the mirror. It's just a really calm mouth, just straight across, not smiling big and saying, oh, I'm so happy, it's my birthday. She's just sitting there like Mona Lisa looking in the mirror, maybe studying her reflection and wondering what she looks like. So the song goes like this: Mona, Mona Lisa, the most famous portrait of all. So anytime you see that, you'll say, oh, that's the Mona Lisa. And behind her is the real size of how big she really was. Now that's a pretty big picture. Do you know how many times she was stolen from the museum? The first one that we read a story about in TK is a man with a mustache who comes and steals her. He stole her and kept her for a long time. And do you know where he was storing her to hide her? Next to his stove. He slid her between the stove and the cabinet. She was rolled up when he ran away from the museum, and then he stuck her next to a stove. No one got to enjoy her because the man with the mustache wanted to sell her and make a lot of money. But if you steal something and sell it, somebody finds out and they say, hey, you're selling something that was stolen. So this has a great story. Ask your teacher if she'll read to you the story of the Mona Lisa and how many times she was stolen from the museum. All right, shall we get started with our paper bag head? Now, I know that this project really is made originally to be a mask, but I don't want to wear it as a mask because for me, a paper bag is too big and the eyes never line up with my eyes. But when I make it, it can be made in a way that just sits on my head, or I can put it on a little stand. Now here's the brown grocery bag I'm using. One side of it had a logo, but I put a piece of paper over it so not anyone knows what store I got it from, because it's not fair to let one store be on TV while the rest of them wish they could. So I covered up the picture of the name of the store. But this bag is great because it has a nice big space for me to put it over my head if I want to wear it. But I wouldn't walk around in it because I'm not cutting any eyes. It's hard to cut the eyes to fit your face, so let's not worry about that. And you can maybe even put it on a stand, or you can just fill it with paper and stand it up on your desk or something, because you're going to love how it looks and want to show people. Now, this is the front of my bag. This is the back of my bag. And this is the side of my bag. Now the sides are called a gusset. Isn't that a funny word? Gusset. A gusset makes a place that will make open and close get a little open. Like even some shirts some people have a little stretchy part on the side so that if they have to bend over, athletes have a gusset in there. But I want to make mine. I'm trying to hold it up to my head. Let me show you. I think, how far down does it come on my shoulder? About to right there. So when you are doing it, you'll go up on the gusset side. Watch me. Here's the line where the front meets the gusset. And I go up here and I curve it till it comes to the gusset edge. I can close that and make it the exact same shape by closing it and going down that line. Let me see. I'm going to try and do this, boys and girls, without hitting my microphone. So let me show you. I'm going to put it over my head. That's good. So I'm going to put this piece here to see how far up to go. And if you want to, you can use a pencil or a pen to draw around here. But I am such a great cutter. It's one of my best things I do. I can just put it on here and use it to cut around to make it similar shape. Is it a big deal if your two sides don't match? Not really, but I like for things to kind of match. So there my two pieces are. I'll save these because I know I'm going to want to use it with something else, because paper is so useful. It's kind of sad to throw it away when you don't need to. So here is my project beginning. Here's the front, gusset 1, back, gusset 2. So I can put this over my head. Now I'm going to close it up to do the project, boys and girls, and you close yours up too. So we want the bag with the back to be the part where this flap is down. Let me pick up my table and put it up here. Come on up, table. All righty, here we go. Now, we're going to draw a profile down the middle. It'll go forehead, nose, upper lip, 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 down, chin. There we go. So here's what I am going to do. I'm going to put it here, and I want you to do this with me. Let me move my hat back so you can. I have to take off my glasses so I can trace my face. Now put your finger on top of your forehead like this and drive down and say to yourself, forehead, forehead, nose, nose, upper lip, 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 chin in, glasses back on. Now I remember those directions as I'm drawing this. I hope I can draw it upside down well. I'm going to use my black. You can use your crayon, or you could use your pastel, or you could use a pen, but I'm going forehead, nose out, nose in. Let me show you it, and you can maybe try that yourself. Forehead, nose out, upper lip. Now watch, lip, lip. It's like an M, look, but I did it this way. Make my chin and down. I'll do a little neck part. So do you see? Great. Okay, now let's do this. Since it's the profile, we're going to make the eye. Now look, the eye is going to be put right here across from where your forehead meets your nose. So just like yesterday, you'll draw a sideways V. Oopsie. Do I say oopsie every time I break my pastel? Probably. So go ahead and you make your sideways V just like that. I am going to put some eyeshadow on my girl so that she looks in the mirror and she thinks she's fancy. So I'm going to put the eyeshadow right up here on the top of her eyelid. If you like to do that, do it. If you don't, don't. But I wanted to do that first before I put on my eyelashes, because otherwise I'd have to color in between all of the eyelashes. And the bottom one, I don't think I'll put any lashes just yet, but I need to now make the curve for her eye, and the other curve for the color part of the eye, and the black dot on the edge to look out. And I think what I will do is I think I will put it as a bright green eye. Here it is, just the color. Try to stay away from your black, because each time you smudge it, it makes it kind of messy. But in this corner, especially with a brown paper bag, I love the color white on here. So here it is. Here's my sideways eye. And it has itself all colored and looking. And you know what? I really do think it does need some eyelashes down below. So I am going to do that. Eyelash, eyelash, eyelash down. But remember, I'm doing mine this way, and you don't necessarily have to do yours that way. Now my second part is I want to make this look like a heart kind of. My lips, watch, that M is there like that. Then you put a V sideways like that. So it ends up looking like lips. There it is. You can see her lips are like that. I'm going to color in her lips before I draw the line to separate them. So I'm coloring them in. I'm doing mine pink, and you know what I say to you. You do it whatever color you think looks good. Maybe she's been swimming and her lips are blue because she's so cold. Who knows? And then I'll just do the little line all the way over now that my lips are colored. Now, the other part I need to do is this side of the lips. I have to point it to myself, boys and girls. So I'm going to go over and back in, and I'll show you what I just did. Another V on this side to make the lips. But these lips I think I'm going to make red. So now I'll color them before I do the line down the middle again. Because of the line, if I do black across red, if the red smears a little bit, no big deal. But the black smearing ends up being kind of muddy. So there. Now across from this, I'm going to make her eye that's looking straight out with 2 curved lines. I'll make her eyelid just like we've been doing in the past. 2 curved lines to make her eye. I'll maybe do the eyelashes above and eyelashes below. I'll color the eye in so that her eye can have the pupil put on it later. Now, this, you don't have to make them the eye colors that you've seen real people, remember. This is all art, and it can be very fancified and all different kinds of things. Now, if I want to do my face skin color that is peach, just like the one that was looking in the mirror, I'll go in, staying away from the black lines, and oh, that might be helpful, Mrs. Reed, right, that it broke, because now you can do it on the side and color a lot more at the same time. So don't worry if it breaks, because I know that you didn't do it on purpose. You know, we don't want to ruin things just by breaking them for the fun of it, because I just don't understand when people break things on purpose to just break them. It just surprises me that they'd want to ruin their good supplies. But if it's by accident, you think, well, I can just use that a certain way. Now, the nice thing about this little piece of pink that's broken, I can make her rosy cheeks right there. Now, do you remember on the other one, she had a big old yellow face on the other one that was looking in the mirror. So I could make that yellow. You can do it however you'd like. So boys and girls, as you're finishing yours, don't worry if you're not getting it finished super fast, because you know you can finish this later. I'm putting on my eyebrows, and I have a good start to this, and I think that I'll put her rosy cheek right here and make that be that way. And I also want to remember to get the white in here, because that really makes the eyes stand out. And since she had on blue eyeshadow on one eye, I think I'll put some blue shadow on the other eye. Make her look like the same person, maybe, just 2 different ways. Oh, I'm thinking this is looking pretty good. I don't know if I like this color yellow. It doesn't show up very much. Maybe I'll make her have an orange face. You can just decide what colors you'd like to use. Now, while I'm finishing up my coloring part, I want to tell you about tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to use coloring tools, glue sticks, scissors. You're going to want your construction paper and a pen again, because we're going to do yet another Picasso picture. But this one's kind of scary. It's a woman who's crying. Why is she crying? Why did Picasso make her the woman weeping? Another name for crying is weeping. He has a weeping woman in his picture, and I wonder why she's crying. I'll tell you all about it tomorrow when you bring all your tools and come back, and we'll be talking more about portraits and why we can be portrait detectives. Let's do our goodbye, see you next time, everyone. Goodbye, see you next time, everyone. Goodbye, see you next time, everyone. Goodbye to you, goodbye to you, goodbye to you. Goodbye to me, goodbye, see you next time, everyone. What do you think about it? I got off to a really good start. I hope yours looks good. You know, boys and girls, when you do work on your projects, you can always send a photograph of it to me here at the studio, and I would love that. Now, think about portraits. Think about who has a portrait taken, how many portraits you have that we've done this week, and you can put them all together and have a portrait museum and invite your friends over to your studio. Boys and girls, thank you so much for joining me today and doing portraits with me. It's been a great day. All righty, I will see you tomorrow when we're talking about the weeping woman. See you tomorrow. Bye, boys and girls.